What's up, YouTubers? I've been having some technical difficulties, as usual. That's the story of my life, a big technical difficulty. I wanted to get on here and talk about my experience as a targeted individual. If I could turn this music off here. It's been a trip, to say the least. I'm going to tell you about one scenario. It's with the county sheriff's office where I live. I live in Florida. And last year I was actually called the sheriff's office because I was terrified. I thought I had been what the hell's going on with this over here? I was terrified because I thought that I was raped or and drugged. So I went to the crisis center here, and I ended up going to report it, because in order to get your DNA tested for the county sheriff to do it, you have to file a report. So I went ahead and filed the report, talking to my boyfriend, saying this is just for my sanity. Well, long story short, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office didn't do anything. When I was at the crisis center, the doctor that does this every day of her life told me, we're going to get whoever did this. I got a solid sample. However, 5 months later, after Hillsborough County took the DNA and tested it, they said, no, there's no DNA on you whatsoever. So that blew my mind. I'm like, this woman that does this every day of her life said that there was a solid sample, and you're telling me there was nothing. So that's one. Two, I got into an argument with my boyfriend, and I called the front desk to have him removed. We were at a hotel, and by the time anybody got there, we were already separated. I had already made plans to leave, and we were going our separate ways. The sheriff's office came and they arrested me. They said I was the primary aggressor. Because I spit in his face after he broke my phone and was telling me, psychologically abusing me all day, verbal, you're nothing, you're never going to be anything, you're a loser, you're a piece of shit, and I had locked myself in the bathroom. So whatever, I go to jail. Then now recently, I own a 49cc scooter, which does not need to be registered. You don't have to have insurance unless you're not wearing a helmet. So a friend of mine was actually fixing it because I'm really good at screwing things up. And so he was driving it back to me, and he got pulled over. He got arrested, and my scooter was impounded to a tow place here in Tampa, or in Gibsonton. So I call the tow company when I find out where it is, and they tell me that I have a hold on my scooter, 5 to 7 day hold per the sheriff's office, and that the only way to get that hold lifted is if I call the deputy that had it towed. So it took me like 8 days to get a hold of this other sheriff. Meanwhile, the tow place is just racking up money on fees. So about $800 later, and 8 days later, I get a hold of the deputy, who tells me there was never a hold on the scooter, and that the people basically lied to me. They gave me a reason why there was a hold on my scooter, that I had 2 VIN numbers on it, which is it's just bullshit. So I ended up having to call Consumer Protection, and they called, and they got it down to like $250, even though these people were completely unethical and wrong. And I called the sheriff's office. I'm like, man, these people are lying on you guys, saying that there's a hold on my scooter. I can only imagine what other vehicles they've done this to. And so I was really disheartened, because I was trying to talk to the manager there and trying to work something out. I don't have a lot of money, so hey, what's up, how are you? So anyways, Consumer Protection got involved, and like I said, they got it down to like $250. And I was calling the guy, I was trying to arrange to go pick it up. This was last Thursday, Friday, I'm sorry, at 3:30 in the afternoon. And then he tells me, oh, I'm only honoring the $250 till 6 o'clock. And your bill of sale needs to be notarized. And if it's older than 30 days, you need to go down and get it titled. Or get it registered. So I had an hour, basically an hour and a half to do this. That's ridiculous. You know, it was like whatever they could do for me not to get my scooter back. And then Hillsborough County Sheriff was not helping me at all. And so I filed a complaint with Consumer Protection against them. I said, I don't feel like they did a proper investigation. I don't feel like this was, and I told him all three things. I said, I feel like I'm targeted. You know, here I was feeling like the victim the first time and went to the crisis center and did all the right avenues. And then I'm the one that gets looked at like a piece of crap. And when they took my boyfriend's DNA to rule him out, he swabbed his mouth and stuck it in a paper bag. I'm like, really? Is this happening? I'm like, somebody pinched me. And then, you know, I found out a lot of things about the sheriff's office here. That obviously they're not as wonderful as people say. I mean, I live in a neighborhood that's primarily law enforcement, ex-military. And so the guy across the street tells my son he's going to put me in jail, that I'm a drug dealer and that I'm on drugs. He talks bad about me. He I mean, the kids in the neighborhood come here all the time and play with my son. I'm always doing art with them. Their parents, you know, love me because I'm always entertaining their kids. Yet the guy across the street and a couple other people in the neighborhood, you know, talk bad about me to the other neighbors. And it's just like, you know, I don't even want to go outside in my neighborhood because everybody is so nasty. And I would write these cards. I don't have one on me, but I was writing some earlier too. And it just says, hey, beautiful soul, blessings to you. I hope you have a beautiful day. You're a divine creation, you know, made in the likeness of a loving God. Therefore, you're limitless. Like, don't limit your capacity as a human being. Like, you have so much in you. It basically just a really nice card. And I'd walk 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd go and I'd put it on cars. People complain to the HOA about the cards. I did it like once a month, hoping that maybe somebody will just like be like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be an asshole anymore. Because that, you know, the world is not just shitty people. You know, Ashley's not a shitty person. And because I openly admitted to my drug addiction and to my past with drugs, and I have no qualms about that. I'm not ashamed of that because you have to go through the fire in order to see the heaven that exists. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, they treat me like crap. And then I watched a video on here about gang stalking, about how basically like you'll go to a store and there'll be nobody there. And then all of a sudden there's like 20 people there. And I said, you know what? I need to pay attention. I need to get out of my head and pay attention to what my surroundings. Sure enough, I went to the store the other day, pull up, and there's 9 guys, literally 9 guys, a couple walking in the store. And then right when I got to the register, they were crowded around me. And I'm going, are you freaking serious? So I just kind of laughed about it and I walked out of the store. And then the next night I was with my son's father and we went to the gas station and I was going to get out of the car. But I said, no, I'm going to see what happens. I saw this Mustang pulls right next to me. I didn't get out of the car. I said, will you please go inside for me? So he said, yeah. He goes inside. The Mustang sees that I'm not getting out of the car, pulls back, and then pulls in front of his car and starts videoing me. And I'm going, what the fuck are these people, excuse my language, what are these people doing? So I get his phone and I took a picture of their license plate. And then as soon as I did that, they sped off. And then 3 more cars. It was just like, it felt like set up. And I'm not paranoid when it's really happening. I mean, when the stuff's really happening, it's not paranoia. And it's to the point where I don't want to go anywhere because people that I'm with get freaked out. You know, when I didn't leave the house for like 2 months. And then 1 week I went to the movies twice in a week. Okay. And my birthday's 7/13. On one day, it was seat 7, theater 13. The next time we went, like 2 days later, it was seat 13, theater 7. And I'm going, are you kidding me? This is so whacked out. And then we leave there and we go to a Dollar General that I never go to. It's on the other side of town. And I needed twine. I was making something. So I'm like, what aisle is it on? Aisle 13. And the guy in front of me, his bill was $13 and some change. He didn't have the change, so I gave him the change. And then when I went up there and paid for my stuff, it was, lo and behold, $13. So it's just, it's very overwhelming. I have to pinch myself sometimes, and it's frustrating when people are like, oh, you're just, that doesn't really happen. And I want to tell them, you know what, why don't you let's do a ride along. You just come with me for the day and then you see what happens. And because it's so overwhelming, and it's like I know what the universe wants me to do. I'm not going to say it out loud, but it's what it's pushing for me to do. And I have a very hard time letting go, and letting go of things and situations and people in my life. I want to cling on to everybody. I want to love everybody. I want everybody to be appeased. And I just don't want a bunch of bullshit. But I'm not going to stand for lies anymore. And I'm not going to stand for, the person that I was. I was a liar for stupid reasons. And I decided that I wasn't going to be that person, and I wasn't going to tolerate it in my life. And I see everybody around me lying, and it's like, and two-faced, talking out of both sides of their mouth. And it's really sad, because I'm like, man, was I that person? I was that bad? And the fact of the matter is that, yeah, I probably was that bad, or even worse, in my addiction. And so I've had to make a lot of apologies, and, say a lot of sorries and kiss a lot of ass. But at the same time, it's like I had this spiritual awakening, and I'm going, whoa, somebody help me, because I'm like on this deserted island. And it's not every day somebody wakes up and paints Jesus. And then before that, I painted the Watcher. And it's like, there's just so much. I mean, the day that I was on the elevator at this hotel, and this woman gets on there and looks at me like concerned, and she says, you have a very hard job to do. And I'm going, what is she talking about? Like that's not normal. That's not normal. All my best friends being 13 birthdays. I keep trying to tell people, this is not normal. I don't know anybody else in my life that has their best friends that come into their life. I mean, they're my neighbors. 2 neighbors, 13 birthdays. Guess what? One moves out, another one moves in October 13th. I mean, is it coincidence? That's a lot of coincidence. That's too much coincidence for coincidence. And I want to look at it and spin it like it is a blessing, because I'm awakened to a lot of things that I wasn't hip to before. And I was very naive, and I thought this world was, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. And I wanted to believe everything that everybody said. And I definitely put my trust in a lot of wrong people. But, this whole targeted individual thing, when all this stuff happened with the sheriff's office, it just blew my mind. I'm going, oh my gosh, why me? But then, somebody that did something that I felt was it was inappropriate to me when I was younger, works for them, is affiliated with them. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, that's the reason why. But it wasn't my fault. I was a kid. And so to me, that's proof. They don't do anything about me, the DNA sample. But it took 5 months to get it back, and I had to call the supervisor. So it's not fair. I'm just trying to live my life and do right. And it's just really disheartening that the people that you go to for help aren't helping, because they're part of. That's what I feel. So that's just, the scenario that I'm going through right now. And I know that God's got my back. I'm going to, and he's going to handle things for me. He's brought me some really amazing people and some positive forces through social media and just in my life in general. And for that, I'm so grateful. I don't thank God enough for in the universe enough for the blessings that I have. And the truth is, I'm very grateful. But with all the things that have gone on, it's very easy for me to get caught up in my head, and for me to kind of make it bigger than it is. And so I have to check myself. But it's definitely not paranoia if it's really happening and there's proof. So, I mean, I don't know what happened to me. I mean, I want to say it was part man, part spirit, part, I don't know. But I just, I'm going to look at it like it's a blessing, that's speaking in tongues, light language, the art, the not watching TV for sure. Um, and just, I went to an energy healer and he was amazing. And I think it was just a culmination of things. And plus, I was broken. I went through a really, really shitty relationship, a breakup, and where I loved the person so much, and losing that love. And it was like being thrown into the wilderness because I felt like he allowed me to see my truth. And that's what breaks the bondage. Love breaks the bondage. And so if you're awake, love somebody until they wake up. Love them enough to wake them up, and love them enough to be like the light in their life. You know what I'm saying? And don't give up on them. Um, you know, people need people. That's why we're here. I always say that. And the way is just love. That's the thing that binds us. We all come in different shapes and sizes, different colors, but we have one common factor, one common denominator, is that we are love. We should emanate love and truth. And that's what I stand for now. And with all this other static that's going on with the sheriff's office and stuff, it's hard to love, because you're so like frustrated. And that's when I have to just give it to the universe and give it to God and say, okay, here you go, please take this from me and relinquish me of this stress. But I wish you all, I pray for this world all the time, and I love people. I do. I love them, with all my heart. And I would do anything for anybody that I could. And so to have all this, like the defamation of character and the stuff that's going on with the tow place, it's like, I felt like I can't win, but in the spirit, God gave me a strong spirit, very strong spirit, and a very strong mind, and the will to not give up. And so I won't give up. And I know that in the end, that all things will be, the justice will be served, either on this realm or not. It doesn't matter to me. I've had everything and I've lost it a couple times. And so I'm not attached to things, but it's just it was the principle for me. It's the principle of what they're doing. And if I'm probably not the only one, but that's, like I said, that's what I'm going through right now. And the whole thing with like showing up there's at the gas station, that just is a trip. So I don't know. I would love to hear your stories. I would love to hear what's happened to other people. I've listened to quite a few on here, and so I'm going to continue to do so. And I just hope that people just stay in love and focus on that in their life. That's what I have to do, and focus on the people that love me, truly love me, and that aren't just here to put me down and treat me like my past. So just focus on love and live in love and be the light for somebody. Wake people up, man. You got to wake people up. If you're awake, that's your job. God bless. Peace.